Welcome to Speak for Yourself. Marcellus Wiley here with Emmanuel Acho.
My brother.
My man. Let's get to our top story. Ooh, those Rams, they capped off their Super Bowl win with a big parade yesterday right here in the streets of L.A. Everybody was hydrated. Yes, they were. Sean McVay and Aaron Donald had retirement rumors being floated around, but McVay's fiance said he's not retiring, and Donald told the crowd, quote, "Why not run it back? We could be world champs again." Hydrated. So, Acho, can the Rams be the next dynasty?
If Sean McVay stays in Los Angeles, the Rams can absolutely be a dynasty. I actually foresee the Rams being a dynasty. It's very simple. I'm not even going to talk to you all about the Rams. Let me talk to you all about everybody else, and I will have convinced you that the Rams will be a dynasty.
Okay.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to lose Tom Brady, so they're going to get worse. The Green Bay Packers are likely to lose Aaron Rodgers, so they're going to get worse. The San Francisco 49ers are going to lose their quarterback in Jimmy G, so they're going to get worse. Yeah. So just relative to all of the competition in the NFC, the Rams will have gotten better. And the Rams don't have to get better. They simply have to watch everyone else get worse.
I like that.
Why else will the Rams be a dynasty? So, who is going to challenge the Rams in the NFC? When you look at the entirety of that NFC playoff picture, what teams are returning their coach and returning their quarterback? The Green Bay Packers likely will not, like I just discussed. The Bucs likely will not, like I just discussed. The Arizona Cardinals have turmoil currently between Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury. As you continue to move down that line, the New Orleans Saints, they lost Sean Payton, not returning their coach. So what, the Dallas Cowboys, the Philadelphia Eagles? As you look at the playoff teams in the NFC, Cowboys, Cardinals, Eagles, returning their coach and returning their quarterback. Then you got the Rams.
Let's go.
Returning their coach and returning their quarterback. So assuming Sean McVay comes back, you give me Sean McVay, you give me Matthew Stafford, and you assume the Rams stay the same. Even if the Rams get slightly worse, the other teams will get worse at a significantly greater rate than the Rams. Let's talk about it just like 2008, 2009. The economy hit a depression. And what I knew about this, I was living in Austin at the time, was while the real estate market crashed severely throughout the nation, Austin was insulated from the crash.
Tell me how.
Because of the nature in which Austin was. People were still trying to move to Austin at a greater rate than other areas. As a result, while the economy was incredibly affected, Austin's economy, not so much. The economy of the NFC is going to be incredibly affected.
Oh, the economy of the NFC.
So when you look at the entirety and the total body and the total picture of the NFC. But the Los Angeles Rams economy, not so much. Odell Beckham might depart, might not even be healthy. Economy of the Rams affected. But they still got Mr. Motion, Robert Woods, set to return.
Oh, another injured player coming back. Oh, okay.
Coming back sooner nonetheless.
Yes.
The economy of the Rams, it might take a hit, but it's not going to be hit with the same potency that the other NFC teams are going to be hit. So can the Rams be a dynasty? Absolutely.
Yeah,
because even if the Rams do not get better, everyone else has gotten worse. And as a result, relative to the competition, the Rams have gotten better.
Man, you look like you got a good night rest. I mean, you came out here concise, well.
I actually went to Craig's last night.
You went to Craig? Dog, your phone broke? You hit your boy? Damn. It ain't. What are they going to take? The Super Bowl passed by. We didn't hang out. You went to Craig's last night? All right, I'm going to tell you where I'm going tonight. BOA. See you there. All right, let's do it. I hate to be this guy because I'm an L.A. native. Can't let this out-of-towner come out here and support my team. Even though I'm a Charger fan, it's still L.A. I rep mine. But hell no, there ain't going to be no dynasty, dog. First of all, let's define dynasty, shall we? And I don't want to define it in some vague terms. I want names and numbers, teams, and how many championships. Okay. Patriots won 3 and 5. Are the Rams about to do that? Hell no. Patriots also won 3 and 4. Are the Rams going to do that? Hell no. 3 and 4 also happened with the Dallas Cowboys in the 90s. Are they going to do that? No. Names and numbers, right? 49ers won 4 and 9. Are they going to do that? Hell no. Steelers, 4 and 6. Are they going to do that? Hell no. Last team to win back-to-back, 2003, 2004, Tom Brady Patriots. Are they going to go back-to-back? Hell no. You want to know why? Because in the last 14 years, we've had 12 different Super Bowl champions. Wiley. Whoa, I thought Austin was insulated. Wait a minute. In the last 14 years, we've had 12 different champions. You want to know why? Because nobody can sit still anymore. You just talk about Odell Beckham. Did you talk about the 3 offensive linemen that 2 are free agents and 1 is threatening retirement and Andrew Whitworth? So the offensive line's going to look different. We're talking about the offensive coordinator. He's gone. So that's going to look different in terms of scheme and what they're going to be offensively. Don't forget, before this year, they had dropped to 22nd in scoring offense under the genius of Sean McVay. Look, I'm not a hater, just doing my work very well. So when you define dynasty, I look at these teams, I'm like, I don't see this team matching up to that. Now, you had a good night rest, I could tell, but you should be tired and fatigued from saying dynasty. Because weren't you the same guy telling me that the Chiefs were going to be a dynasty? Are the Rams going to go to 4 straight NFC championship games? Even if they do, that's not dynastic because the Chiefs just did that. Win 1 Super Bowl in those 4 years. All right, they got their 1. Are they going to get another one? Are they going to get 2 more, 3 more in 4 years? I don't see it happening, man. It's not just about the surroundings. And I agree with you. Lesser teams will be showing themselves next year, especially in the NFC. Not the AFC, NFC. Mm-hmm. But it's not about just that. It's about the change within. Within their own organization, so many things are going to change. And because now, looking at teams, how it's always turnover and how it's always turnover with the Super Bowl champs. I'm sorry, they ain't going to sit still enough to win a dynasty.
I like the point that most players don't sit still. There's so much money to be had now.
You think?
Why would I sit still when I could go make the money? But, Sel, you got to look at the NFC picture. Look at the bigger body of work.
Right here.
Who in the NFC scares you? Keep in mind, for the last 12 years, we can say 10, the NFC West, toughest division in football. Mm-hmm. Last 10 years, Seahawks went to a Super Bowl. Niners went to a Super Bowl. Rams obviously went to a Super Bowl, even prior to this Super Bowl. And the Arizona Cardinals, you got to go back a little bit further to get to their Super Bowl. Yep. But obviously the Cardinals went to a Super Bowl in their time as well. Mm-hmm. The NFC West, toughest division in ball. But Jimmy G's gone. Okay. And from everything I've heard, both within the locker room and outside of the locker room, Trey Lance is still at least a year away.
Yeah, that's real.
Kyler Murray deleting all his pictures of the Cardinals from his page. What does that mean? Nothing more than at least there's some turmoil. Cliff Kingsbury, people are questioning him, so there's some turmoil there. Russell Wilson doesn't want to stay put in Seattle, so he's likely to move. And if he does not move, the Seahawks still are far beyond their peak. So even the NFC West, they're not that good. But now look at it like this. The Saints, do they scare you? No, not I. The Vikings, do they scare you? Nope, not me. The Commanders, don't even know them. The Commodores? The Seahawks, don't scare you. The Falcons, really, do they scare you? The Bears, with Justin Fields in his second year, first-year head coach, they don't scare me. The Panthers, who's their quarterback? The Giants, stop playing, and the Lions. So realistically speaking, so as I talk about it, in the NFC, who's a threat to the Rams? It's not the Bucs, not with Kyle Trask in his first year as a starter. It's not the Cardinals. Kyler Murray, we saw what they have in store. It's not the Packers, unless Aaron Rodgers does stay, then obviously I'm not that ignorant. But if you are the Rams, their only threats, Packers, Cowboys, Cardinals-ish. That's why I'm like, yeah, they can easily be a dynasty if you only got 2 to 3 threats, big dog.
A year ago doing this show with you, did the Cincinnati Bengals scare you?
No,
did
sir.
you see them coming?
No, sir.
No.
Joe Burrow did, though.
Joe Burrow, yeah. But the point is, you don't know the forecast. Mm-hmm. You didn't see that team coming. And guess what? There's another team right now we're not seeing coming. But they're coming. Let's just start with the Dallas Cowboys. Why? Because they're classic underachievers. I'm not trying to hype them up. I'm just saying sooner or later you will flip that coin over and find your value. You finally won't underachieve because they certainly have the talent base. I don't like your face right now. But the point is, Acho, stop trying to kill me. Stop trying to destroy me with such logic that is already flawed. We didn't see the Bengals coming. Some would say we didn't see the Rams coming. Why? A year ago, Matthew Stafford wasn't on the team.
We saw him coming.
No, don't you? Matthew Stafford.
In the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that wasn't a year ago. That was a few months ago. Let's go back to February of last year, after the Super Bowl, when Matthew Stafford was like, honey, I am so tired of Detroit. She's like, me too. Let's go to Cabo. All right? And they go down to Cabo and they see Drew Brees and they see Sean McVay and all that. He wasn't even on the team. You didn't see that coming.
I like it.
Okay? You also didn't see Von Miller coming.
Yes, sir.
You didn't see OBJ coming and having huge impact, including in the Super Bowl in the first half. So many of these things are undetermined to the point That's why in the last 14 years, it's been 12 different champions, bruh. I'm not sitting here trying to slice up the Rams. I'm not trying to hate the player. I'm just trying to explain the game.
That's fair.
The way the game goes right now, these dudes don't sit still. Here's another point. Rams have won third most games since Sean McVay's been their coach. Number 2, New Orleans Saints. Dynasty, anybody? Number 1, Kansas City Chiefs. Dynasty, anybody?
Close.
Well, it's close. Horseshoes. What are we doing here? Like dynasty. That's the thing. To me, dynasty is retroactive. We look back and say, damn, you did that. But all this forward thought and talk about a dynasty, look at the results. It doesn't happen.
Here's why I say it can. Because let's keep in mind, the Chiefs, 2 games away from being a dynasty. Literally. 2 in the last 4 years. That's 16 times 4. That's 64 games. Chiefs are 2 games away from being a dynasty. Yes, sir, please.
Your Honor, the Rams are 1 penalty away from not even being champions.
That's my point. That's my point.
So my point is the way it's
a coin flip.
Yes. So how are you going to be a dynasty always winning the coin flip?
Because if it is a coin flip, then we're saying they're a coin flip away from being a dynasty. My point is this. If the Chiefs do beat the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl, clearly big if.
They ain't even score a touchdown. How they going to do that?
That's my point.
Okay.
If you want to say it's a big if, clearly a big if. But if the Chiefs beat the Bucs in the Super Bowl, okay, fine. Nacho, they didn't beat the Bucs.
They ain't even
if the Chiefs beat the Bengals, which obviously that game went in overtime, so that clearly was doable. Now the Chiefs could be dynastic. 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, win or lose with 1 win. Now the Chiefs are dynastic if you continue to
I thought you got good rest last night. Where are you talking about?
What's the argument?
My argument is this. It ain't happening. The ifs won't even come to reality. There won't be an if scenario that will help them. Andrew Whitworth is probably going to retire. Why wouldn't you retire? You just won a Super Bowl. You played your former team, and you're 40 years old. It's time, brother. But he's still balled out. He may want to come back. Who knows? 2 other offensive linemen, free agents. Also, the way that they're flirting with the cap, they're already behind $10 million over the cap. They can flirt with the cap, extend Matthew Stafford, play around with the books. But Aaron Donald's threatening retirement just because Aaron Donald wants another contract, which means we're going to have to rob resources from other places. What is the receiver room going to look like next year? Cooper Kupp is there. Amazing. We're going to ask some of the young guys like Jefferson to step up, but Robert Woods is coming off injury. I think he's still going to be good.
Of course, can't make it.
OBJ's coming off another injury.
And a free agent.
Yep. It's just, dude, I know how to juggle, but after the third ball, it's tough, man.
I'm not disagreeing with you. Don't hear me that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is it's so close that it's so possible. Like, it's not at all far-fetched. The difference between winning a Super Bowl and losing a Super Bowl. For the Giants, it was catching a football on a helmet. For the Patriots, it was Julian Edelman catching the football with his fingers. For the Rams this game, it was calling the wrong play on 2nd and 1, in my opinion, wasting a down. If you don't want to say it was a wasting a down play, it was the inability to watch any film and guard Cooper Kupp at the end of the goal line, or it was some flagrant, not even flagrant, it was some errors in pass interference calls. The difference between winning a game is so razor thin that I'm not going to call it far-fetched, because what I'm saying is the difference in the Rams becoming a dynasty and not becoming a dynasty, to me, is incredibly razor thin. It's very possible. Now, can a team come out of nowhere and snipe them? Sure. We didn't foresee the Bengals. Maybe it'll be the Eagles. Maybe Jalen Hurts will take that next step. Nick Sirianni take that next step. They return Brandon Graham. Fletcher Cox returns back to his peak form. Sure, that could happen. But all I'm saying is the difference between a dynasty sell is a game. For the Bills in those 4 Super Bowls, you win 2 of those, you a dynasty. So I'm saying it's a game. We're talking about 4 quarters are the difference between being a dynasty and not. That's it? 4 quarters?
Let me say this. I told you I got a burner account. I think I got 2 burner accounts on online social. Y'all figure it out one day, because I'm always giving me props somewhere. But somebody wrote one time, because they always clown me, and I love to write back like thumbs down or like, oh, I hate you. Like, I just go at it. Somebody said, Acho, stop clapping when you talk. You just did it. So whoever you are out there, I'll hit you on my burner and let you know. I saw that. Here we go. Acho, sometimes in this world, and you're 31 now.
Sorry.
You've noticed this over your lifetime. Some words just die. Like for me, growing up, fresh and dope was like everything. Now, if I walk around and say fresh, I'm aging myself. People are like, that doesn't exist anymore. We don't say that. Dynasty is another word that we don't say, especially in football anymore. You know why? Because back in the days in the 70s, you look at these teams like the Steelers, then you go to the 49ers and the Cowboys. They were able to compact all of those championships in a few years. You know why? They didn't have the money out there to attract the free agents. And two, they didn't even have free agency. Then the 90s come and they have Plan B and free agency. And you see the Cowboys and you see Denver go back to back. We didn't call that a dynasty. So if the Rams go back to back, we're not going to call this a dynasty, are we? Then you go to the 2000s, you see the Patriots. And they were able to do it 3-4. Then took about a decade, 3-5. Now, I think it's not even going to qualify as a dynasty because there's too much money to poach a guy who already has a ring to say, I'm going to stay still to hope for a second ring versus a huge payday. On top of that, free agency has kicked in, man. You could just see it. My list shows 4 or 5 dynasties before free agency. After that, you got 1, maybe 2. I just think that it's over. Used to be dope. Now it ain't fresh. Coming up, we're headed to the big board for the USFL's draft lottery. Find out which team will get the first pick. But first, the Cowboys have big off-season decisions. But has Dak earned the right to have input? We'll answer that next on Speed for Yourself.
The Cowboys have 20 players that will hit free agency this offseason. Quarterback Dak Prescott is a big piece of their salary cap, and he was asked if he'll have a say on who he'll be playing with and said, quote, I'm pretty sure that my opinion will be valued in certain decisions, close quote. So, Sel, I love this question. Has Dak Prescott earned the right to have input on personnel decisions?
Absolutely, he's earned the right to have input on personnel decisions. I would like to listen to the leader of the number 1 offense in the entire NFL to just see what he thinks and get his perspective about some of the personnel decisions we have to make. Now, remember, input isn't decision-making power. Big difference. Let me take you to the DJ world. When you go past those big soundboards at the festivals, all these monster cables all plugged in, all these different inputs. Hundreds, maybe thousands of inputs, right? But if you notice carefully and look at the sound engineer, there's also a button, usually gray, way at the bottom. You know what that button is? Mute. So you can have the input, yeah, but in terms of what is being synthesized, in terms of what Jerry Jones is thinking, Stephen Jones is thinking, Will Clay is thinking, what all the powers are thinking, we have the ability to bring down your gain level, bring down your volume, or even mute you. But yeah, you'll have input. But in terms of decision-making power, that's a little different because we saw Russell Wilson try to have that type of input. We didn't hear anything. They hit the mute button on him, right? Aaron Rodgers, I guess the level was at 2. We got Aaron Rodgers bringing in Randall Cobb. He got his homeboy in there, corn on the cob. But then Tom Brady had that thing maxed out. You saw Tom Brady bring Gronk out of retirement. Leonard Fournette was like, this is why I'm here. AB, hey, that's my dog. That's my brother from another. Then. So I don't see why Dak Prescott is not in position to do just the same thing for his franchise. It's not if Dak has to be better than Tom Brady. Dak is the Tom Brady for the Dallas Cowboys. He's their franchise quarterback. So, yeah, let him plug in. Give him that input. Now we'll check later for the volume level.
I like the take. But no, Dak hasn't earned the right at all to have personnel decisions, at all. Quarterbacks in the NFL that have personnel decisions, it's been Tom Brady, greatest quarterback of all time. He's won a Super Bowl. It's been Aaron Rodgers, most talented quarterback of all time. He's won a Super Bowl. It's been Russell Wilson. He, too, has won a Super Bowl and gone to 9 Pro Bowls in his 10 years as the quarterback. All those fellas have earned the right, and even they did not all get personnel decisions. Brady ain't got personnel decisions in New England. That's why he had to dip. Russ ain't really getting personnel decisions in Seattle. That's why he keeps complaining. And Aaron Rodgers, Lord knows that we know, he did not get personnel decisions. Giving Dak input on the personnel would be the worst thing that the Cowboys could do for the chemistry of the team. I'm going to make it simple in a way that y'all understand because y'all have been there too. There's nothing, Sel, to me more vexing than when somebody continually asks you for advice but never takes it. Never. My brother did that to me. I had to call him out finally.
Sam?
Sam, big bro. Big dog. I love you,
wet snitch. I thought you were a dry snitch. You wet.
Nah, I'm going to call him out.
Let's hear it.
Because my brother will often ask me for advice. Hey, what do you think I should do about this decision? What do you think I should do about this real estate decision? What do you think I should do about this TV decision? What do you think I should do about this contractual decision? Hey, do this, Sam. Hey, do this, big bro. Hey, do this, big bro. And after about 3 or 4 times, I noticed you didn't do anything I advised you to do. So finally, I very politely said, hey, man, stop asking me because you're wasting both of our time. Now, when somebody asks you for your input, they are not obligated to take it. When Sam, my big bro, asked me for my input, he is not obligated to take it. But because you have asked, I now feel as though I am a equal shareholder in this decision-making process, even though I am not. Worst thing the Cowboys can do is make Dak Prescott feel as though he is an equal shareholder in this decision-making process because he is not. So once he now offers the Cowboys advice and they don't take it, he will be offended, as opposed to if he didn't offer them the advice in the first place. Now there's no offense taken because I was never a part of this and I never thought I was an equal shareholder. Do not give Dak Prescott personnel decisions because it will ruin the chemistry of the team.
Strong right there. And before that take, I used to say I was your brother from another. Now, since I know how you treat your brothers on air when they on air, we cousins from another. So what the hell wrong with you? Let me just say this. My wife is the same way as Sam. Exact same way. They think they already know the answer. Let me tell you what's really going on here. But they really just want to see if you agree with what they're already thinking. And when you say something that they don't agree with, they're going to do what they were going to do initially. Why I got to be a part of that process? But this is where we differ. I'm not fatigued. First of all, I'm married, 10 years married, so obviously I'm not fatigued of it. All I'm saying is, if you're going to do what you're going to do, just do it. And if you're Dak Prescott, if you're going to allow me to have the opportunity to speak on certain players, just let me do it. I'm not going to get fatigued of that. I'm not going to get tired of you're not going with the guy I want. Because if you ever been in a war room, and I told you this story before, but it's time to rehash it. I think I'm one of the very few players, it just feels this way because no one talks about these stories, that has been in the war room. And I've been in the war room where I saw the 2 draft boards. There's one draft board of all the prospects coming out of college. And you get to see them. You know, you're looking at this guy, Hutchinson, Michigan. You're like, oh, up high, right? And then I remember I was in San Diego, and I went to the other room, and there was another draft board. And all I got to see was P. Manning. And I was like, wait a minute, Peyton already in the league. Peyton is Peyton Manning. And I was like, and they were like, get out of here. Why? Get out of here. Jokingly, but like, get your out of here, right? And I was like, what's that room? He was like, just in case things change with our roster. I was like, they ranking us right now. And they're going to say, go, good dog, good time at practice today. I was like, what the hell? Here's why I think Dak Prescott deserves his opportunity. If you ever been in that war room, they beef. The GM is not happy with the head coach all the time during those draft selections. The owner is sitting there like, I'm on this side, but you guys are going that way. We just seen this play out in Miami, it sounds like. They always have issues in terms of what your evaluation of a prospect is. If Dak's a big boy, if Dak's a grown man, let him in the room. But that doesn't mean he gets everything he wants.
I like it. But let me caution y'all. Let me tell you all a age-old tale of the NFL that should scare every quarterback, receiver, quarterback, running back combination. So, Donovan McNabb.
Ooh,
beast. Terrell Owens. Beast. But together they beefed. Why?
Do that again.
Now, I know Terrell, I know McNabb, you know McNabb.
I know.
Beef, one of the greatest NFL beasts still standing to this day.
Really?
Why? Because T.O., if you ask him, and as he said it before,
Let them sit up.
he was so upset that McNabb did not go to battle for Tim when it was time for a contract extension. But McNabb went to battle for Westbrook, the running back, when it was time for a contract extension. So T.O. was like, hey, McNabb, you the quarterback. You got say on this roster. Say something about me when it's time for me to get my bread. You said something about him. Because of that small rift, that small crack in a window that, as y'all know, when you have a crack in your window, expands, 2 of the greatest players at their position in the generation, one of the greatest of all time, still beefing 20 years later into their mid-40s because you decided to give Donovan McNabb power, input on personnel decisions. At least in theory you did. It completely ruined the chemistry of a Super Bowl team. Remember, y'all, Eagles was in the Super Bowl versus the Patriots. And after that, because of that beef, what happened to the Eagles? T.O. leaves, McNabb not really the same player, and next thing you know, that roster in the NFC East that was Super Bowl contending year in and year out evaporated into nothing. Why? Because of input on personnel decisions. Do not make that mistake. Wow. We have seen it backfire far too many times, Sal. Why would you allow it to backfire in Dallas?
Did you get your degree in psychology?
Master Sports Psych, undergrad, Knies.
Perfect. Masters in sports psych. I'll give you 3 names and just rank them in terms of projected character.
Yes, sir. Projected. Yes, sir.
Projected, because, you know, we don't know how these guys really are. You know? Mental makeup, let's just call
Yes, sir.
it.
Yes, sir.
Donovan McNabb.
Okay.
T.O. and Dak Prescott. What's your rankings? We already know what your rankings are.
What's interesting, I say Dak.
That's it. That's all I needed. I know Dak's not the same as T.O., my dog, and he ain't the same as McNabb, my dog. There's not enough oxygen in the room for McNabb and T.O. to both sit there comfortably and breathe. I've been in the room with them, and I got a big personality, but it gets suppressed because I'm like, let him go. And T.O. is more the quiet type, but his presence is speaking to everybody, so therefore he always got to deal with the interactions. McNabb, not only does he have that presence, but he actually engages and stirs it up. So it's like overboard, the cup runneth over, okay? Then there's Dak Prescott, who sits there. Hey, hi, nice meeting you. Professionalism at its finest, right? Dak Prescott ain't the same mentally and has the same mental makeup as those guys. Why do I bring that up? Because in your example, you gave me good context, but you didn't give me the same character or characters.
Okay.
So if T.O. and McNabb were in the war room on draft day, ooh, we don't need no damn receiver. No, we do need a receiver. Well, we don't need no quarterback. No, we actually need a quarterback and a receiver. Why y'all here? Y'all beefing already. You know what Dak Prescott would sit there and say if they said we need a quarterback? Yeah, it'd be good. You know, I have had some injuries of late. You know, let's bring them in here. And, you know, it'd be good to have somebody give me a little bump, a little edge. Completely different things, man. You gave me the right context, but the wrong character.
Let me give you this then. Let me keep it real with you. Come on. Dak Prescott not good enough to have input on personnel decisions.
That's what you wanted to say.
Period.
Just like your Acho, just like Sam,
Period.
you did it. You knew what you wanted to say from the
Dak
beginning.
Prescott not good enough to have personnel. He's
Say
been to 2 Pro Bowls in 6 years, big dog. He's not good enough to have input on personnel decisions.
not?
He got 1 playoff win. He's not good enough to have personnel decisions. He is not technically or tentatively tracking to be a Hall of Famer. He's not good enough to have personnel decisions. Tyron Smith, my left tackle, been here for a decade, several Pro Bowls, couple All-Pros. You can get personnel decisions. Zach Martin, been here for a decade, several Pro Bowls, All-Pros. You can get personnel decisions. Nobody else do I want to hear about input on the roster. I'm going to give y'all the story, then I'm going to give y'all the truth. Story. My senior year, University of Texas, 3rd-team All-American, AP voted. We had to go to some freaking bowling event during our bowl game practices. Matt Brown wanted us to go to a team bonding event. Everybody on the roster looking at me like, hey, Acho, man, tell coach we don't want to go to this bowl.
Yeah, you're the ambassador.
You do tell coach we don't want to go to this bowling event. Yeah. So I'm like, dang, I'm listening to all these other cats. I'm like, hey, coach, we don't want to go to this bowling event, da-da-da-da-da. He called it off. Why? Because I had earned the right. I was good enough to have input on personnel decisions in college based upon how I played that season. I had earned the right to have personnel decisions. Some of them other young bucks, they hadn't earned the right to have input on personnel decisions. I'm simply saying Dak Prescott hasn't earned the right. Now let me give y'all the truth. I gave y'all the story. Now let me give y'all the truth. Why can't Dak have input on personnel decisions? Because a general manager and an owner might love you and cut you. They are not going to let their affinity for you dictate what they do in their decision making. They might love you and in the same breath be like, you're not good enough to play on this team.
Yeah.
Teammates can't do that. Because if Dak was really to have decision making power and they say, hey, Dak, what do you think we should do about Ezekiel Elliott, man? Like, what do you think we should do about Deke? You know, he's been declining every year for the last 5 years. He was injured last year. The year before he wasn't injured. He led the league in fumbles. What do you think we should do about him? Realistically and non-biasedly, Dak should say, hey, see if you can trade him, see what you can get for him. Dak can't do that to Zeke, his brother, same draft class, first-round pick, fourth-round pick. Their jersey numbers combined for 214, the Dallas area code. Dak can't do that to his brother Zeke because Dak cannot be unbiased. So why would I want somebody biased to have input on personnel decisions? One more story as I close. Sale.
Get him, Sam Acho.
If you are dating an individual, big dog.
When?
And if you dating it, go back, big dog.
Well, they use the past
11
tense.
years. I said dating. If you dating.
Dating, exactly.
Okay, you're right.
I went to school.
Columbia.
I went to school.
You're right. You dated the individual, and while y'all dating,
especially while you snitching.
Her best friend really wants her to be married, desperately. Has seen a bunch of bad dudes and just desperately
Is she
wants her
married
to be
herself?
married. Her best friend is married as well. So she really wants her to be married as well.
Okay.
But you telling the best friend, like, man, we going through some issues, going through some rough times. I think we should break up. The best friend is going to convince you all to stay together. Why? Not necessarily because you all should, but very simply, the best friend's opinion is tainted and the best friend is biased because that is the best friend. So why in God's name would you give the best friend input on personnel decisions when you know the best friend's opinion is biased and the best friend's opinion is tainted by nature of them being the best friend? Dak Prescott's input would be biased by nature of his relationships with the dude on the squad. Don't you dare get that man no input.
Okay, I'm going to say two names. Boy, you are funny. John Lynch and LeBron James. Both great players.
Sure.
One's a great GM, and let's just call the other one suspect, if not bad GM. Mm-hmm. Which one's the great GM?
John Lynch.
LeBron James leaves Cleveland. Mm-hmm. Teams up, big three, Miami. Some would say that was an underachievement despite they won 2 or 4, right? Mm-hmm. But the GM, just the GM, LeBron, teamed up with Dwayne Wade, who all of a sudden start going on the decline, right? A little regression. And teamed up with Chris Bosh, who was a beast, but he had a forced, diminished role. Bad GM move right there. You win 2 or 4, so who can say anything about it? But a little bit of an underachievement if you look at that talent level. Okay. Going back to Cleveland, when he had a decision to make on a team that had Andrew Wiggins potentially drafted, and you decide to go with Kevin Love because you're thinking you got to go beat the Spurs. And then Golden State say, oh, you didn't pick that forward, you didn't pick that wing? Well, come and get that. Not Andrew Wiggins, come and take these trophies from you. LeBron sniped them once, but Golden State went on some type of dynasty, right? All I'm saying is the threshold can't be how good a player you are. It can't be that. Dak Prescott is a good to great player. Wherever you want to put him, he's somewhere in there. He's a Pro Bowler, and the Dallas Cowboys found out how valuable he was in his absence. Look at that team without Dak Prescott. And look at that team with Dak Prescott and how much they paid him to show him how much they care and are invested in him. All I'm saying is right now, I don't want to use the threshold of Dak ain't good enough when Dak may have a perfect perspective and is good enough to even be invested in that heavily by the Dallas Cowboys. We'll see. I think Dak can handle the room, but obviously Acho don't think he does. Coming up, Anthony Davis went down with an ankle injury last night. I mean, his ankle hit the floor. So we'll tell you if LeBron can keep the Lakers afloat. Speaking of LeBron, that's next on Speak for Yourself. So now we got Mav, Tio, Sam. Sunday is the most iconic day in all of motorsports, the Daytona 500. The Great American Race kicks off the 2022 NASCAR season, 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific, only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. The Lakers got a big scare last night when Anthony Davis went down with a sprained right ankle. Expected to be out at least 2 weeks. They still have the king. Ron led them to a big rally in the fourth quarter, finishing with 33 points in the win over the Jazz. LA is currently the 9th seed in the West. Joined now by Fox NBA analyst Slick Rick the Bucher. But Acho, can LeBron keep the Lakers afloat?
Absolutely. And LeBron James will keep the Lakers afloat. Everybody got to calm down. Sell, stay calm, Slick, maintain your calmness. All afloat means is keep them in the playoff pictures, big dog. Like, I don't need LeBron to make them a 1, 2, 3 seed. Just keep them in the playoff picture. To keep them in the playoff picture, stay the 7, the 8, the 9, the 10. Just be able to make sure you can stay in a play-in game. LeBron has to keep them afloat. He does not have to keep them Michael Phelps. All he got to do is keep them above water. And right now, Lakers is above water, and he will maintain that. LeBron James, when he's on the court, Lakers have an above 500 record, 21-20. So as long as LeBron James stays on the court, Lakers will stay above, at least as it pertains to right now their record. Lakers will stay above 500 going forward. That's what LeBron has done over the last 40-plus games. So if LeBron can keep the Lakers where they are at now, or marginal improvement, then LeBron will have kept the Lakers afloat, get them in a play-in game. Anthony Davis comes back. Hopefully they figure things out and they make a little bit of noise. It ain't going to be a yell in the playoffs unless they really turn it around, but make a little bit of noise. LeBron can keep the Lakers afloat.
All right.
Can the Lakers stay afloat? Yes. Can LeBron do it by himself? No. If you look at, first of all, look at the performance last night. I don't want to take anything away from that. LeBron was magnificent. He gave us the fourth quarter. He was kind of coasting the first three, but fourth quarter he was magnificent. He did everything that was necessary. Arguably the best performance I've seen from him all year long, maybe in the last 2 years. But let's not ignore what it required for him to get that done. Remember I said, didn't give it to us all 4 quarters, just really gave it to us that fourth quarter. And even with that, getting to the final minutes, LeBron James, and this is the beauty of him both as an athlete and as a businessman, he was able to shoot a commercial in the midst of that run in the fourth quarter for his Calm app. But nonetheless, it required. Can I see the clip, please?
Yeah.
Can we get that? There we go. There we go. Have we seen this before? We've seen this in a commercial. This is a commercial. He's shooting it right now in the midst of winning the game. Very impressive. But nonetheless, there were other instances where legitimately he needed to meditate and rest because he realizes, I got to do this for 24 more games? And 14 of those are against teams that are above 500. Now, how have the Lakers done against teams above 500? Oof, not so good. Not anywhere close to 500. And we don't have it on the screen here, but they're also 9-18 when they're on the road. Guess how many games they have on the road? 14 of 24 left. So everything is tilting toward the Lakers. But to your point, Acho, yes, they can stay afloat. They ain't moving up, but nobody's coming up behind them. Portland Trailblazers are tanking. New Orleans Pelicans tried to improve. I don't know that C.J. McCollum's going to get it done. So they can stay right where they are and be in the play-in. I don't know about 8th, 7th, 6th. I don't know about moving up, but they can stay right where they are. However, for them to do that, it's not going to be just LeBron. The team collectively, they won the rebounding. Only 10 turnovers last night, 24 assists. Outshot the Jazz. They won that as a team, and they're going to collectively need to do that. LeBron can finish for you, but you're going to have to get him there.
I'm with you, Slick, right there, and I want everyone to stay calm because LeBron James has been here before. Playing with AD, unfortunately, LeBron James knows how to be a Laker without AD. I'm going to give you guys a full screen to show that this is the same team with or without AD this year. Look at the wins and losses. Basically the same. Points per game. Without AD, we score a little more. Field goal percentage, everything looks comparable, almost the same. Fewer turnovers without AD. Basically, I think this team is going to play the exact same in terms of its production and in terms of outcome without AD. But you guys overlooked one point, and it was interesting that LeBron has been here before as well in the past with these Los Angeles Lakers. Remember last year and his play-in championship experience and how he went out there and, oh, my God, LeBron, what are you doing in the paint, Steph Curry, first of all? And then LeBron James makes his play. So when we talk about LeBron James being in a play-in tournament, play-in championship, this is LeBron James showing you that even with or without AD, I can handle that. My shoulders are broad enough to be the 7th through the 10th seed. But I want to bring up what you ain't right, Acho. I want to bring up what Slick brought up because this is something we're going to have a topic for another day. Show me LeBron on that bench one more time. And everybody talking about how calm he looks. But you know me, I'm about the money, and I'm also about that legacy, LeBron. LeBron is in the GOAT conversation with somebody that's on his jersey. Like, ain't that kind of weird to anybody else out there? Like, if I'm LeBron James, we got to figure out another sponsor. We can't be having Jordan. That is the ultimate sunning of somebody. You would never be the GOAT if you wearing me on your jersey. I digress. All right, sorry.
That is fair.
That's fair.
No, I mean, we're ultimately saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Now, Slick, the only place I disagree with you, I do think LeBron James can do it by himself, keeping them as a 9 seed. Doing it by himself, meaning LeBron James, Giannis, only players averaging 29, 7, and 6. As long as LeBron James maintains that level of excellence, I don't think he's going to need a ton from anybody else, because he ain't get a ton from anybody else last night. Second high point scorer, 17 points a game, and that was Russ. You know Russ. It ain't nothing for Russ to give you 17 because Russ going to put all the shots up in the world. So I don't think, Slick, that LeBron is going to need a boatload of help because LeBron knows how to pace himself. What LeBron does, in my mind, better than any player in the NBA and really any player in NBA history, he doesn't work harder. He works smarter.
Say it.
He's calculated. He knows when it's time for him to strike. The only time LeBron James cannot strike, if you all recall, the closeout game, Lakers-Suns last year, LeBron tried to pace himself, but the Suns were so good that LeBron James could not strike. Well, that was a Suns team that ended up in the NBA Finals. Going forward, the next 24 games, they are not going to have to continually play NBA Finals caliber opponents. For that reason, LeBron can do it himself to get them there. Anything from there, he's going to need help.
Acho, you always do this to me. Like, here I am praising LeBron, and now you put me in a position where I have to qualify what happened last night.
Say it.
The Utah Jazz are one of the oldest, most unathletic teams in the league. If there was ever a team that was set up for LeBron James to take over in the fourth quarter, this was it. And by the way, yes, Russell Westbrook didn't give them big numbers, but he was efficient. 6 for 13. Yeah, 5 assists, 4 turnovers, okay. They're not completely efficient. But they collectively, he doesn't need that big co-star. And could we also add, we got Anthony Davis out and they're saying 2 weeks, and then they'll recheck him. Could we just start with anybody who knows the history of Anthony Davis and injuries? Could we just start, Anthony Davis is going to be out 6 months and work back from there?
Ooh.
Because I guarantee you,
Ooh.
I thought he'd actually broken the ankle with the way that it flexed, and I'm sure that it's a high sprain rather than a normal sprain, and I would expect that, in fact, I'd be surprised if this isn't 4 to 6 weeks in terms of seeing him, not only because of Anthony Davis's history, but simply because the type of injury that they have. But coming back to LeBron, the teams that they have to play are all playing fast and up-tempo. The Jazz are vulnerable. The one thing that this win gives LeBron and the Lakers is that somehow, some way, they were to get matched up in a first round against the Utah Jazz. I think the Lakers are built to pull an upset on that because of how the Utah Jazz are. But let's be clear. He was playing against Bojan Bogdanovic, Rudy Gobert, and Royce Neal. All took a turn trying to stop him. That's not exactly a killer's row when it comes to one-on-one defenders trying to stop somebody like LeBron James. Again, I don't want to take anything away from it because it was magnificent. It was impressive. But to think that LeBron is going to consistently do this over the last 24 games at age 37, you know what? They're going to have to redo that call map because they're going to have to extend the number of minutes that you get on it if that's going to be the case.
Take that damn Jordan logo off next time you do that app. Oh, man. Man, I feel for AD. I feel for Anthony Davis, and I am being sincere up here. I saw some people out there, social media, especially when you have a platform and you actually see the guys and know the guys. You can't like everything. You can't retweet everything, right? Somebody called him a Q-tip because he's soft on both ends. And I was like, man, y'all wrong out here in these streets. But let me tell you why y'all wrong. Because I was injury prone, and it robbed me of being anything that I desired to be in full. But it's robbing AD, who is already a tremendous, great player, and some would say all-timer. And I saw him when he got injured, and I didn't know if he was screaming more in physical pain or mental pain, because getting back up that mountain, once you get knocked down constantly, consistently, y'all don't understand what this man is going through. So I didn't have any jokes for AD. Matter of fact, all I see is these Lakers going out there once again, staying afloat. They score more points, shoot better from the three, turn the ball over less without AD. They'll be the same team. We all get that. But I want to give y'all a fun fact going out. You know the Lakers' largest win streak this year was 4 games, 1, 2, 3, cuatro. And that came when AD was out with a knee injury. So we may see the same Lakers, good, bad, or ugly, without AD. Coming up, should Aaron Rodgers want to leave Green Bay? Are the Broncos an option? We have a lot to say about this. Next on Speak for Yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What's that song? It's that song.
The big question in Green Bay is if back-to-back MVP Aaron Rodgers will return next season. Well, the Broncos have the second best odds to be his next team, according to Fox Bet Sportsbook. And Broncos legend Terrell Davis was asked if he saw Rodgers as Denver's next quarterback and said, quote, "I've heard from too many insiders and too many sources. It makes too much sense for us to not get Aaron Rodgers." So, Sel, let me ask you, does it make sense, or rather, should Aaron Rodgers want to leave Green Bay?
No, you do not leave Green Bay. You water your grass. Your grass is greener in Green Bay. It's literally in the damn name, green. All right, so here we go. I am not taking a one-way trip to Denver, even though I like that roster, even though I like that talent. All they do need is a quarterback. I am not taking that trip with my buddy to see if he's going to do well as a head coach in his new promoted role. Nah, and they don't have an owner. Acho, you ever been in a room? It's like going to school. Remember we go to school and we had a substitute teacher? I don't give a damn how good a student you were. I don't give a damn how disciplined you were. I'm butting a little bit, right? Like, there's no owner there. So everyone is out there trying to mark their territory, just trying to inch that line a little higher, a little farther, because we ain't got no boss right now. This thing about to change over. We're owned by a trust. Aaron Rodgers, when you look at the Green Bay situation, back-to-back #1 seeds, first team in NFL history to win 13 games in 3 straight seasons. Aaron, you don't need that much to get over the hump. I'm sorry. I wave bye-bye to everybody who is sitting there wishing me to go to Denver. Y'all have fun out there. I'm staying still in Green Bay, and I'm getting over that hump.
I like the take, and I was going to say the same thing, but then I started thinking even further, and hopefully this changes your mind because it changes mine. Aaron Rodgers should get out of Green Bay, and he should, because how much do the Packers want to win? That's the question Rodgers needs to ask himself.
I'm here.
Packers came to the season with 4 All-Pros. Aaron Rodgers, 4 first-team All-Pros. Ended last season with Aaron Rodgers, Corey Lindsey, Devontae Adams, David Bakhtiari. You let Lindsey leave. Rodgers has 1 foot in the door. Devontae Adams has no feet in the door because he's a free agent. Aaron Rodgers has 1 foot in the door because he has no money guaranteed, and Bakhtiari was hurt all season. So if you are Aaron Rodgers, you're looking around like this. Tom Brady went to a new destination, and his management acquired Rob Gronkowski, Leonard Fournette, Antonio Brown en route to winning a chip. Matthew Stafford went to a new destination, and his management acquired Odell Beckham, Von Miller, en route to winning a chip. And Aaron Rodgers, you got a bag to get Randall Cobb? Like, now I'm frustrated because guess who the Packers could have acquired midseason? I don't know, just a guy like Odell Beckham. Seemed to have helped the Rams win a Super Bowl.
Hello.
So if you're Aaron Rodgers, you're not so much concerned with how talented the Packers are, but you're saying, wait, as talented as you all are, the Rams did something to go get themselves a chip. The Bucs did something to go get themselves a chip. Meanwhile, I've been here for 13 to 15 years, 1 as a starter and also just been here as a roster, 16, just sitting here kicking and screaming to get Randall Cobb. Must I remind you all? And this is why Aaron Rodgers was so frustrated. Remember the secret. They let Charles Woodson walk. They let Julius Peppers walk. They let Jordy Nelson walk. They didn't re-sign Randall Cobb. Aaron Rodgers has been sitting here like, yo, management, keep some of these dudes. And while management has not been willing to keep the greats that have gone through the doors of Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers is watching greats walk into the doors of Los Angeles and watching greats walk into the doors of Tampa Bay and watching the team walk down the streets of their respective cities to win Super Bowls on Super Bowl parades. So that's why, in my mind, Aaron Rodgers should go find a team that wants to win more than the Packers.
You didn't change my mind, but you're making me think with my mind. Thought you were a big fan of the legacy that was one team is the dream. One team, Kobe. One team, Duncan. Yeah? So now you're rooting against that in the same spirit when you tell Aaron Rodgers to leave. I think that matters here. I think that's value here. Let's also not compare it to the Rams, who were coming off being this 22nd ranked offense with a genius head coach in Sean McVay, who had to overhaul things, not only in concepts, but let's be real. We need to get a new quarterback. Check. We need to get another receiver. Check. That's not the Green Bay Packers. Why? Because the Green Bay Packers have a quarterback that has the most quarterback wins since he had his new coach, Matt LaFleur. Most. More than Patrick Mahomes, yeah. Aaron Rodgers has more passing touchdowns than any other quarterback since Matt LaFleur got there. They are 34-1 when forcing one turnover or more. What? You get us one turnover. Wow. Good luck trying to beat us. Where are you going to go when you have this kind of setup, these type of stats? First with the fewest giveaways last season?
Got something for you.
You got something else?
Something for you.
Okay, water this grass.
I got something for you. You sound like
me,
the emotionally abusive person in a relationship.
I've heard that before. Emotional. You know me, I tell the truth.
You sound like that person.
How you feel?
Man, where are you going to go where you're going to have it better than this? And so you got
Sometimes that's true. I hate when people always say like that.
Where you going to go, Aaron? Where you going to have a better receiver?
Sometimes it's true.
Where you going to have a better stadium? Where you going to have better fans? Where you going to go, Aaron, where you got it better than this? And Aaron Rodgers might believe the lie in listening to you. But then you need friends like me to be like, Aaron, but look at what Stafford did, man. Stafford left and he won a chip. Look what Tom did. Of course, all Patriots fans, where you going to go? We're going to have a better Belichick, Tom. Where you going to go? We're going to have it better than this organization, Tom. For 20 years, we cared about you, Tom. But Tom didn't listen to the ignorance. Tom said, you know what? Let me go somewhere else and get a chip. So I hear you, and you're not wrong, but you sound like that emotionally manipulative person in a relationship that's going to lie to Aaron Rodgers. Talk to me, Phil.
I may sound like him, but am I him? No, I'm not. You try to compare what Green Bay is right now, only team in NFL history to win 13 games in a season 3 times in a row, to Detroit. Oh, no. Then you caught yourself. I heard you. You was like, no, let me compare it to Foxborough and Tom Brady and the Patriots. When they had no receivers, they were trotting out 35-year-old, knee-injured, jumping on cars, Julian Edelman as their number one. And remember in the last game for Tom Brady in the playoffs, when he threw the ball to Edelman, he dropped it, and he was like, if I can't count on him, it's a wrap. And this is all I got, and that's my dog. But Edelman, no more Edelman. That's not the same as Green Bay. They have Devontae Adams. They have a quarterback who has the most touchdowns. They have a vaunted offense. Give me an example that is analogous, that is comparable to this Green Bay team. And sometimes I hate when people do this. Let me give it. Talk to me. Because I've heard this before. I'm emotionally abusive. I said, no, I'm like the rain, baby. You know, the truth will fall anywhere, just like rain. It's just, I'm not trying to hear, oh, that hurt. I'm trying to hear, was that real? Was that truthful? Aaron Rodgers, how many teams out there are better than the Green Bay Packers? Then here's the next part that most people are not deep enough to go to this extent. That want a quarterback. So how many teams are better than the Green Bay Packers right now? 4, 6? Let's say it. Now, how many of those teams need a quarterback? 1, maybe? San Francisco? Like, that's the point. Where is he going to go? I actually think it's true. Stay still.
We're not asking the right question.
I just did.
It's not where you're leaving. It's where you're going.
Where are you going?
If you take away every team's starting quarterback, the Packers aren't a top 4 team. If we had to assess every other position on the roster besides the quarterback position, Packers not a top 4
Devontae
team.
Adams, Aaron Jones.
Devontae Adams is a free agent.
Oh, so yeah. I mean, I'm assuming he's coming back if Aaron comes back.
But even still, though, I'm like, Aaron Rodgers, I understand that Green Bay is a really good team, but here's what I would say.
What would you say?
The Rams were not in the Super Bowl last year. The Rams barely won a playoff game last year. They had to go beat Seattle with a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
But Matthew Stafford, you in Detroit were able to take the Rams to a Super Bowl. So if Matthew Stafford can take the 22nd offense and make them the number 3 offense, Aaron Rodgers has to ask himself, imagine what I can do. Because if Stafford can take the number 22nd all the way to number 3, then Rodgers got to be looking like,
7.
So 7.
Scoring.
Then Rodgers got to be looking like, surely I can take somebody in the teens upwards. If Brady can take a 7-9 team to a Super Bowl champ, then Aaron Rodgers, can take a 7-9 team to a Super Bowl. Because Rodgers has been in Green Bay, NFC Championship eliminated, and then lost in that divisional round. So if I'm Rodgers, I'm not asking myself who and what am I leaving in Green Bay. I'm asking myself, where am I going? Because if Stafford and Brady can do it, I can do it too.
Okay, let me just corner you. Where? Denver?
I got a couple spots for you.
Okay, while you think about that, because I think lucky number 13 is what we need to focus on. I told you before, one of my favorite rappers is Devin the Dude. I got my nickname from him, actually, from my teammates. That dude. I'm going to say it again. You're going to give up, remember, lucky number 13, for show wins. To just go out there and see what Acho has on his list for more wins. You know what you're going to end up with? No wins. Now let me hear what your list looks like.
I got 4 teams for Aaron Rodgers that would be better than the Green Bay Packers. First and foremost, the Cleveland Browns. That's first and foremost the roster construction of the Browns. You already know what they have at running back. You know what they have as a pass rusher. I would start there.
Okay.
The next team I would go to, you mentioned it already, it's no secret, San Francisco 49ers. Okay. Aaron Rodgers, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa. I don't need to hear anything else.
Yeah.
The next team, I would say, the Denver Broncos. You've already talked about what the Broncos have in pieces. But my surprise team, Indianapolis Colts. What they have on that defensive line, DeForest Buckner, what they have at the linebacker position, Darius Leonard, and then what they have on offense with Quentin Nelson as the offensive lineman and Jonathan Taylor at the running back position. You acquire Aaron Rodgers. You try to find a way to acquire a receiver. Devontae Adams, you're trying to go to Indy with me? And all of a sudden, those teams are all better than Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers.
Okay, I caught 3 of those 4. Browns, 49ers, Colts, and who?
Broncos.
Oh, of course, Broncos. Browns, here's the problem. Let's talk business. We got Baker one more year cheap. We're going to bring in some old veterans and keep this down and figure this out, right? Mm-hmm. Are you going to pay Baker Mayfield, what is it, $18 million?
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers? You got to pay Baker $18 million. You picked up his 5th-year option. True. Okay, so I think that kind of hurts. Puts an X on that one. 49ers.
There's a chance.
No, there's no chance because of Trey Lance. One-play Trey. He's cheap right now. You wait another year, all of a sudden you wasted 2 of the cheap years for Trey Lance if he's anything.
But this is probably the conversation we should have been having the whole time. Imagine this. Aaron Rodgers has 1 more year on his deal. Jimmy G for the 49ers was a $25 million cap hit. Right. But Jimmy G, no guaranteed money. Get rid of Jimmy G, acquire Aaron Rodgers. That's the difference in $10 million because Aaron Rodgers got 35, Jimmy G got 25. If I'm the Niners, why not take let's do a quick 1 year. Let's try to win a chip with Aaron Rodgers like the Rams just did, a quick 1-1 with Matthew Stafford, Bucks 1-1 with Tom Brady. Why not the Niners get Aaron Rodgers for 1 year and then go from there?
2 issues. 1, I don't think the Packers want to help their NFC rival. 2, that's fair. I don't think that Aaron Rodgers is going to go anywhere for 1 year. Like, at the end of your career, you need 3 years to rob him, right? You got to give him that rob deal. Like, hey, I'm a legend, dog. You got to give me a few years, even if I'm not going to play up to it. We talked already ad nauseum about the Broncos and the Colts. I like that one.
Something there.
That's the one. That's the one. You may have broke something there, especially if they're waffling on Carson Wentz. I don't know the cap situation.
The Rams were rewarded, and they rewarded their fans with a big parade to celebrate their Super Bowl win. Head coach Sean McVay and star defensive lineman Aaron Donald had retirement rumors being floated around, but McVay's fiance said he is not retiring. And Donald told the crowd, quote, "Why not run it back? We can be world champs again." So, Sel, how confident are you in the Rams running it back?
Running it back? Not that confident. Running it back is too vague, first of all. Let's say, where are you running to? Like, where are you getting to? Are you going to cross the finish line, become back-to-back Super Bowl champions? Something we haven't seen in almost 2 decades with Tom Brady and the Patriots? No, they won't win another Super Bowl next year. We need to stop trying to crown everybody out there, y'all. We are trying to call this team a dynasty already before we even see if they're dynastic. So I'm looking at this team like, all right, respect for what they've done, but look how they even got it accomplished. After 1 Super Bowl win, the coach is already talking about retirement. Their best player is already talking about retirement. And we're talking about they're going to run it back. Run it back? Sound like y'all already jogging. How you going to run it back? Let's talk about this. In the last 14 years, there have been 12 different Super Bowl champions. And now we're going to see a team run it back? I just told you it's been 2 decades since a team ran it back. So, no, they're not going to run it back. Yeah, they're going to get back in the race. Yeah, they're going to medal. They'll be on the stand. But run it back, win the gold? Nah, it's not happening, bro.
Man, I think they'll run it back to the Super Bowl. Nearly impossible to say that they will run it back and win for a plethora of reasons. I mean, Sel and I would literally have to be mind readers up here to call it. And the reason I say so is this. We don't know where Deshaun Watson's going to go. We don't know where Aaron Rodgers is going to go. We don't know where Jimmy G is going to go. There's too much ambiguity for us to sit here and right now and simply proclaim that they are going to run it back. Now, that might seem to contradict what I said earlier about them being a dynasty.
A little bit, but I'm here.
Here's why.
What?
I think they'll get back to the Super Bowl. I'm just not convinced that I can proclaim that they'll win. To be a dynasty to me at this junction in time, you have to be there. You have to be in the Super Bowl game. You have to win more than you lose, or you at least have to win some. Patriots 3 and 5 years, dynasty. Patriots 3 and 4 years, dynasty. Had the Chiefs won last year or this year, dynasty. So I think the Rams can get several in a matter of years. Will they get one next year? That's the question that is hard pressed to be answered. And again, because we don't even know, is Brady going to stay retired? So much up in the air, Sale, for us to convincingly say they will run it back. I can convincingly say they will be back, but I can't convincingly say they'll run it back.
I don't know why you think they'll even be back. And this is not haterade. This is just the fact that last year no one saw Cincinnati being there. And let's be real, no one saw the Rams being there when they had Jared Goff and they needed a Cabo vacation to acquire Matthew Stafford by the pool. No one saw it when all of a sudden Von Miller's going to be on the Rams. No one saw that a year ago. No one saw OBJ was going to be on the Rams and have huge impact, including being the first half Super Bowl MVP. No one saw all of that. So there's so much that is yet unforeseen in terms of what this team is going to look like and what the other teams are going to look like. That's why in the last 14 years, 12 different teams have won the Super Bowl. It's been 24 years since a quarterback was able to defend his championship. Only one did it, Tom Brady, in 24 years.
Can I ask you another question?
You want to get out of this?
Yeah, I'm more interested in this.
Yeah, because I'm right.
Are dynasties good for the NFL? Because I think what you and I are both saying is this. You don't believe a dynasty will occur. You especially don't believe the Rams are going to do it. You don't think the Chiefs were going to do it. I personally was like, well, yeah, if the Rams win 2 and 3 years, if the Chiefs win 2 and 3 years, they're a dynasty. I think we have to rebrand what dynasty means, right? We rebrand so many things in society. We currently rebranded. I was talking to a doctor recently. He was like, well, back in the day, a high cholesterol mark was X. Now a high cholesterol mark is Y. Back in the day, a high obesity mark was X. Now a high obesity mark is Y. You always move the definitions of things as society moves. So to me, a dynasty is winning 2 in 3 years. A dynasty is even winning 2 in 4 years. A dynasty cell can no longer be winning 3 in a row or winning 4 and 5 years. I don't think we'll see that anymore because of the parity in the NFL. So if I'm almost to revamp and remix this question and really just have a dialogue I'm more interested in, A, do you think the dynasties are good for the NFL? And B, can the Rams be a dynasty revisiting that?
Okay, I'm going to answer that as I go to the doctor with you. And I love that redefined word conversation. I got 2 for you. Focus. How focus used to be one thing on the wall. You stare at it. I love football. I eat football. I sleep football. Down focus is, no, you have a bunch of dots on the wall. Just prioritize football as your number one. Another one that I grew up, and this one, I hated this evolution because it caught me slipping. It really hurt me in terms of my NFL injuries that occurred. When I was growing up, we used to do 6 inches, this old school exercise. You lift your feet up and say, beat it, beat it, beat it, beat it. And coach would walk through the stretch line. This is Pop Warner. And coach would walk through and say, beat your stomach. Then I get to high school and college, and they say, beat it, beat it, beat it, beat it, beat it. Beat your abs. Then I got to the pros, they said, beat it, beat it, beat it, beat it. Beat your core? Beat your core.
Yes, sir.
If you told me it was the core and Pop Warner, man, I'd be way better off. But it was just a stomach back then. All right, to answer your question, I'm not redefining dynasty. That's not fair to everyone who was dynastic before. And you know what the dynasties used to look like? Win 3 and 4. Win 3 and 5. Now what you going to say? Well, just be the Chiefs. You know what's so funny in this world? We always say shoot for the stars, and if not, land on the moon.
Yep.
Did we land on the moon? Here's the thing. Shoot for a dynasty, but realistically, you're just going to land at being a damn good contender. That's it. You're not going to be a dynasty. Why? We already see it happening mentally with the Rams. Success on the field makes you think about something else. You don't sit still. Aaron Donald. Well, really, I'm just trying to retire, kind of, for a contract. He's not sitting still. It's not the same focus he had last year. We didn't have this conversation of retirement last year. Sean McVay, he wins one. All of a sudden, he can't sit still. Well, I'm thinking about retiring. Interest, television, new contract potentially. That's the point. Right now, the reason why we don't have dynasties is because we are just asteroids in terms of our head and our mind space. We're all over the place, fragmented. Man, I could monetize this. I could get my brand popping. I could do a quarterback camp online. I could, sit still and just eat, sleep football. Those days are behind us, just like I think dynasties are.
I respect it. I mean, you're not wrong, which is why I say if the Rams can bring the troops back together, if Sean McVay does in fact return, we anticipate he will. Aaron Donald, if we assume this whole thing is just a facade and Donald is back, I don't see what can and who will stop these Rams from both getting back to the Super Bowl and thus becoming a dynasty. Again, Sel, what realistically stopped the Chiefs? Overtime. Do we realize, have we paused for a second and realized overtime is what stood in the way between the Chiefs going to 3 consecutive Super Bowls? Overtime, y'all. Overtime is what stopped the Chiefs from making history, the first team in 3 consecutive Super Bowls in God knows how long. Overtime stopped the Chiefs from being dynastic. Overtime stopped the Chiefs from running it back. If all it takes is overtime, if it's going to come down to that, that's where I'm like, you know what? Rams, I'll bet on y'all. I'll bet on those odds that y'all can get back there. Because if it's going to come down to a coin flip, that's 50-50. I'll take it. Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay. If it's 50-50 on y'all, I'll make that bet.
Here we go. But that's the game. It's a game of inches.
Yes, sir.
And those inches are a mile. Let me give it to you. Late 90s, when the Rams playing against the Tennessee Titans, 1 yard.
Kenneth Dyson?
Yeah, Dyson. My Buffalo Bills, Tennessee, 1 play. Last play, not even overtime. Last play, kick the ball off. Routine. Monday. Ask Aaron Rodgers about a kickoff and the onside. Dog, a game of inches in football is a mile because then you look at those teams in terms of returning to that same level of greatness, and they were that close. I just think that we didn't see Cincinnati coming. 2 wins, 4 wins. Y'all in the Super Bowl? I think that same dynamic will occur with another team. But more importantly, the team is that close. And you're like, the Rams, 1 penalty away, potentially not even winning this Super Bowl. A game of inches, man, certainly miles apart. Coming up, will Jimmy G be an upgrade for the Colts over Carson Wentz? Ooh, that's a spicy question. We'll answer that next on Let's head to Indy, where a recent report said the Colts appear ready to trade or release Carson Wentz after just 1 year. Man. Well, Jimmy Garoppolo's days with the 49ers appear to be over, and an NFL analyst said, quote, I think Jimmy G with the Colts will put them over the top and get them to the Super Bowl. Interesting. Acho, is Jimmy G an upgrade over Carson Wentz?
Not at all. Same dude. Jimmy G just has a little bit more of a clutch gene. Same dude, both injury prone. If you put talent around them, both can help you win. I think Carson Wentz's ceiling is higher. Carson Wentz just reaches less of his ceiling, which is why they appear to be the same dude. And as it stands right now, they're the same dude. But we got to keep in mind, y'all, Carson Wentz has had to carry a team. Jimmy G never has. Let's go back to Philly, 2018, the year they went 9-7 and made the playoffs. Carson Wentz had to beat the Dallas Cowboys when Dak Prescott was ready and available with the plethora of his wide receivers. Carson Wentz did that. He won that game. Remember, Carson Wentz, first quarterback in NFL history, 4,000 yards passing and no 500-yard wide receivers. Man. Okay, so Carson Wentz has legitimately had to carry a team, put a team on his back before. Jimmy G's never had to do that. Yeah. Jimmy G really gets to ride on the backs of Deebo Samuel, Trent Williams, George Kittle, etc. Now, they appear to be the same dude, and I think Jimmy G's a little more clutch, 4-2 in the playoffs. Beyond the shadow of a doubt, Jimmy G has a great playoff record. But remember, Jimmy G en route to the Super Bowl threw 27 passes in 2 games. So it's not like Jimmy G was ever asked to do a ton. Jimmy G not an upgrade over Carson Wentz. You know what you're going to get. When he's there, he'll play well, but will he be there? Really the same thing as Carson Wentz. With the Colts, when he was there, he typically played well up until that last game against the Jags. But let's not act like Jimmy G doesn't have those bad, terrible moments as well. I don't see any major upgrade.
This is going to be interesting to talk through because if I'm drafting, I always like to do my Venice Beach draft. They're both walking towards me as I sit on the shore. Which one do I want? I want Carson Wentz. I want talent. I want the higher ceiling. But what I know of Carson Wentz now in his career, especially since 2017, and Jimmy G, I got to go against myself. Jimmy G is an upgrade over Carson Wentz. Now, it's crazy because I felt Carson Wentz initially was the better of the two in terms of talent and prospects. But then when you look at production, all of a sudden you see that Jimmy Garoppolo, obviously higher win percentage, Higher completion percentage? Passing yards per game, more for Jimmy G? Passing yards per attempt. Come on, talent. Come on, Carson. Jimmy G wins there as well. Touchdown to interception ratio. Jimmy G, different sample size, 47 to 25 versus 124 to 43. So I give Carson Wentz that one because of the volume. Giveaways? Oh, damn, Carson, 68 versus 33? Passer rating. I know Carson Wentz got a higher passer rating than Jimmy G. No, he does not. Woo! Mind blown in this situation. Two things that happen in the NFL, and it's unfortunate I see Carson Wentz on the wrong side now of both of these things. What keeps you in the league, if I had to simplify it, is production, obviously, and human capital, as I always talk about. By production, I should have played maybe 8 years. Those last 2 years, those paid vacations, that was all human capital. Carson Wentz is in a position where, for some reason, he doesn't rally the troops in terms of rooting interest. People love Jimmy G. Look how Jimmy G managed the situation with Trey Lance this year. People are going out there saying Jimmy G is amazing. I just don't hear the same being echoed about Carson Wentz. So when I went through my experience and I realized how important that human capital is, I have a real question mark. To be around Carson Wentz, is that a good experience or not? Because now, 1 year, with production, they're still talking about either cutting him or trading him.
I think, Sel, is very simple. My coach, Will Muschamp, he always told me, and I fervently believe this to this day, not just in football, but in life. The fun is in winning.
Okay.
And with Carson Wentz, I think people have a bad experience because as of late, they haven't won. You and I talked about this maybe last week.
Okay.
People don't remember what you say. They remember how you make them feel.
Yes, sir.
I think we can interpret that into football.
Okay.
People don't remember how you play. They remember how you make them feel. Matthew Stafford, think about it.
Oh, I'm waiting on that one. Hit it.
Matthew Stafford did not play well, ladies and gentlemen, in the Super Bowl. But how did he make you feel?
Hold on, you keep saying that. Why you keep saying that?
I keep saying it because he had 2 interceptions.
Talk about them.
2 interceptions that pivoted the game tremendously.
Talk about them. One was a punt, and the other one wasn't his fault.
But one was a punt where the Rams were about to score at the end of the half.
Facts.
So it was not a punt that we wanted you to punt away. It was indeed a punt, but that was one that was going to lead the Rams to points potentially because they were on a hot streak. The second interception now all of a sudden gave the Bengals 3 points. So the Stafford cost the Rams anywhere from 3 to 10 points.
Okay.
Did not play well. Furthermore, from quarter 2, after Odell gets hurt, to the final quarter before that last series.
After Odell.
After Odell, Stafford, no touchdowns, 2 picks up until that final drive.
What about the game-winning drive?
Game-winning drive was good. Game-winning drive, I'll give him that credit. I'll give him snaps for that. But I remember, if the Rams lose that game, it's not a matter of that Stafford played well. We don't really remember how he played.
Good point.
We remember how he made us feel.
All right.
He won the game. I don't really remember, man, how did Ray Lewis play in that 2012 Super Bowl? I don't know. I remember how he made us feel when he came out the tunnel that final time with the huge bicep brace on, and he did his dance, and he picked up the grass off the turf, and he smelled it, and he and like, we don't remember how you play. We remember how you make us feel. Carson Wentz, statistically, he balled this year, y'all.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Kirk Cousins, statistically, he balled this year, y'all. But we don't remember how they played. We remember how they made us feel. Jimmy G, statistically, he did not ball this year, y'all. But, Jimmy G led the Niners all the way to the NFC Championship game. So the difference for me between Jimmy G and Carson Wentz is not play. It's how they make you feel. And I think that's the lesson to be had here is all about, like, there really is no difference between the two. They just make you feel differently. Let me tell my brother one more time I'm done.
Man, no.
I have to.
I got intervention out your time.
I'm going to tell him myself.
Okay, good. Come on, man.
Here's what's so interesting. Me and you were talking before the show about an individual. Sel asked me, do I like this certain dude? I was like, nah, he's too cocky. Sel was like, yo, that's crazy.
That's my dog.
He said the same thing about you, right?
Yes.
It's jokes. Here's what I learned 2 years ago about myself. I will ask somebody for their opinion or their advice, and I will not act like I'm listening to it at all. Hey, Sel, man, what you think I should do about this friend group, big dog? Hey, Sel, give me any advice, and I'll just be on my phone, do whatever.
Yes.
Like I'm not listening at all. Crazy enough, I'm actually listening, and I will apply the advice that's given. Simultaneously, I know individuals, my brother, if you ask him, he'll ask you for advice, and he will act like he's listening, ask all the follow-up questions.
Eye contact. That's
wow, that's brilliant.
Yes, that's
and will do nothing of the sorts. It's interesting because while I actually am the one listening, I'm not making you feel like I'm listening. So you'll walk away from that like, I can't believe I wasted my time. I got so much feedback about how terrible I was because I don't listen to people. When I go back and report to them, I'm like, yo, you know, I actually only did that because you told me to. I say that to say this.
Yes.
Carson Wentz, Jimmy G. Carson Wentz was a better player this year. But ultimately, it's not actually about statistically who was the better player. It's about how did the two players make you feel. One player, Jimmy G, overcame a broken thumb. Another player, Carson Wentz, could not overcome the Jags to get to the playoffs. How do they make you feel, big dog? I think Wentz is better, but Jimmy G makes you feel better.
I'm leaving it right there. That was perfect. Oh, can we say the name of the? Don't say it. We hit y'all later. Coming up, the Lakers were dealt a bad blow with Anthony Davis's injury last night. We'll tell you if they'll miss the playoffs next on Speak for Yourself.
Lakers had a big comeback to beat the Jazz last night, but the bigger story was Anthony Davis went down with a sprained right ankle in the second quarter and is expected to be out for at least 2 weeks. The Lakers currently the 9th seed in the West. Uh-oh. Sal, will the Lakers miss the playoffs?
Boy, I sure hope so. I'm sorry. Let me do my job. Let me be professional and be objective up here. Let me write. What I got on my notes? Damn, I sure hope so. That's all I got. I hope they missed the playoffs. They don't play in championship last year. This team's sorry. What? They sorry. Oh, and they won't miss the playoffs. They can't miss the playoffs. You know why? I'm going to be real. Because LeBron James is not going to let this team be that sorry. He's so good. He's so dominant still that there's only a certain level of sorry they can be. Kind of like in the stocks. I don't know who your financial advisor is. I need to get a little closer to you, Acho, to know about your money. But basically, there are some stop losses out there you can place in the market. So basically, when a company hits this certain number, pretty low number in threshold, we out of that one. We out of it. You know what for LeBron James in terms of the standings, his stop loss number is 10th seed. After that, we ain't going any lower than that. We out of this. We going right back to that play-in championship with our play-in championship experience. And last year that they won. But basically, let me go back to my notes one more time. Will the Lakers miss the playoffs? Boy, I sure hope so. I'm sorry, I had to do it.
I love that take, man, but I'm with you. No, they will not miss the playoffs. No. LeBron won't allow it. LeBron having one of the best seasons statistically of his career. 29, 7, 6. LeBron James, Giannis. LeBron is 4th in the league in points right now. 4th highest point total per game of his career. So LeBron is in his bag. And as bad as the Lakers are, LeBron is that good. And so it does not matter just how many injuries to AD, et cetera. LeBron will keep this team afloat. All LeBron has to do is stay ahead above the Portland Trail Blazers, who appear to be in a rebuild, seeing as they shipped off C.J. McCollum. Meanwhile, you got to stay above the Pelicans. Zion ain't coming back all year, and C.J. McCollum likely not going to be able to do nothing there this season. So LeBron just has to keep this team above water, and the water is incredibly shallow when you talk about the Spurs, the Kings, the Pelicans, and the Trail Blazers. That's a kiddie pool, y'all.
That's kiddie pool.
LeBron
right?
can keep the Lakers above a kiddie pool. No way they miss the playoffs. Only way is if LeBron gets hurt. Lakers are 6-11 when Bron is hurt. We're 21-20 when LeBron is on the court. As it stands now, Lakers, I believe, 3 games below 500. As long as LeBron stays healthy, 4 games below 500. As long as LeBron stays healthy, as long as LeBron stays present, the Lakers will stay good enough to make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, it's crazy this year. Same team with and without AD. 10-10 without AD, 11-10 with AD. So basically, we know the difference maker is LeBron James. I got to ask you something off script.
Talk to me.
Seriously.
Talk to me.
What's wrong with the Lakers, dog? Like, this hasn't worked.
Right.
Let's hear Acho's take on that.
Was it Dennis Green who said, they are who we thought they were?
Yeah.
Dennis.
Did you let them off the hook?
No, here's a problem. They are who we thought they were, and we kept them on the hook. Like, the Lakers are exactly who we thought they were. AD, did we or did we not know he was injury prone?
Yeah.
We knew before the season.
Don't do this.
Russell Westbrook.
Don't do this.
Did we or did we not know he could not shoot from deep? We did. Did we or did we not know he's a turnover waiting to happen? We did. Did we or did we not know that Russell Westbrook's pace and the pace of the entire rest of the Lakers squad, they do not run parallel to each other? We did. LeBron James, did we or did we not know he was not a great general manager as far as acquiring talent? We did. LeBron James, did we or did we not know that he is slowing down to a degree in age? So while he will still be able to pad a box score, he might necessarily not be able to have the same effect on winning in totality for the duration of the season. We did. Dwight Howard, did we or did we not know that he is aging so much so that you might not know when he gets off the hill or gets over the hill? We did. Carmelo Anthony, did we or did we not know that he's good for 13 to 17 minutes per game and will give you anywhere from 13 to 20 points per game, but really no more than that? We did. So we knew everything about this Lakers squad. So we can't really act surprised when it doesn't work. We all knew collectively as a media entity that it was not going to work. We knew collectively as a Lakers fan base it was not going to work. We knew collectively as watchers and fans of sports that it was not going to work. So why isn't it working? For the exact same reason we said it was never going to work. I've been
Dog.
that, man. That's
That's
festering in my spirit.
You're going to keep me in this game forever. I'm just going to coast. You without notes, not prepped. It's better. So I guess we got a new show right here. Speak for yourself, but don't think about it. Let's just get to it. Man, that was amazing.